Today we're going to talk about 3 text messaging tips for student ministers to use. Hi everyone, my name is Tom Pounder and this is the Digital in 5 show. This is the show where we take 5 minutes to talk about digital tools or trends that are happening around the world and apply it into our ministry context. And today we're going to talk about text messaging tips. See, text messaging is such a great way to engage and inspire other people, especially students. They're on their phones all the time. So how can you use it appropriately? And what are some reminders or tips that you can use? I'm going to highlight 3 of them. They're not the only ones, but I'm going to highlight 3 of them. But before I do that, I want to encourage you to subscribe to this. This is on YouTube, so you can subscribe to it on the YouTube channel, or go to iTunes or Spotify and subscribe to the podcast version of this as well. All right, so here are the 3 tips in no particular order, but I think they're really important for us to remember. Number 1 is to use it to check in and encourage. See, I think the tendency that we have for text messaging students is to remind them about events or things that are happening or sign-up dates or deadlines. It's a way to share information. But the thing about text messaging is that it's a great way to communicate with students. In this day and age where technology is so key and so many students, even middle school students, have cell phones in their pockets all the time, text messaging is a great way to encourage and inspire them, to check in on them, to ask for prayer requests for them. It's a great way to communicate on a daily basis if you choose to do so. So I would encourage you to use it more to check in and encourage them, to pray for them, rather than to share information. Because really, if all you do is just share information and things that are happening in the youth program and what's going on next or this deadline or that deadline, they're going to tune you out really quick and they're not going to respond. So use it as a way to encourage and inspire them more than to share information with them. Number 2 is to limit your texting to students. Here's the deal. There is a thing that you can do where you can over text. I've actually heard numerous student ministers and volunteers who kids have just tuned out completely because they text all the time. Okay, you want to use text messaging as a tool, and it's a great tool for you to use in ministry, but don't over text. Don't text them every day or multiple times during the day. If they want to talk to you, they're going to text you, and that's great. But don't always initiate the text exchange by sharing information with them or getting to know them or talking with them a little bit more. Let it be. Wait a few days before you text again. So don't over text. That can be really challenging for some people, but it's going to serve you better if you just text and whatnot every so often, not every single day or multiple times during the day. And number 3 is that students use text in a variety of different platforms. Here's the deal. Older people, like myself, we use text messaging like the SMS stuff. I use iMessage all the time. That's the primary way that I communicate, and people like me always use that to communicate. However, students are not like that. In fact, very rarely will they use the default text messaging app on their phones. They're going to use Snapchat. They're going to use Instagram DMs. They're going to use Facebook Messenger if they're on Facebook at all. They're going to use a variety of different text platforms. So don't limit yourself just to text students on one platform or another. Find out what they're on a lot and then text them that way. Now again, don't over text them, but text them using the platform that they are most comfortable with. I know this. There are some people that I'm only going to be able to reach on Snapchat. There's some people that I'm only going to be able to reach on Facebook Messenger. There's some people I'm going to reach on Instagram DMs. You have to find out which platform they use and they prefer to use and use that to reach them instead of the format that you're most comfortable with. Broaden your horizon. Get familiar with other platforms and use those because kids have tons of different messaging apps these days and they're not just limited to the one SMS that comes regular and default on their phone. So those are the 3 tips that I've discovered to be really helpful for me as a student minister. What about you? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Again, if you're on YouTube, hit it in the comment section below. If you're on any other platform you're listening to this or watching this, definitely hit me up on Twitter. That's the place that I love to live. I'm at TA Pounder is my Twitter handle. I would love to connect with you and talk to you more about text messaging reminders or strategies or lessons learned that you've gotten as a student minister yourself. All right, heroes. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. Again, subscribe to this if you can. I'd love for you to do that. I've got these every other week. And go to ymsidekick.com for more content, podcasts, vlogs, information about the Digital Bootcamp Facebook group. All that is at ymsidekick.com. All right, heroes. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.